Hi all, so in this video we're going to take a look at how you make random stepped rotations. So in this example there is a random 0, 90, 180, 270 degree rotation on all of these cubes so that each one of them has a different coloured face pointing us. You can also use the same trick, we're going to use the same trick when we build a wall so that even though we only have 3 brick models, some of them can be flipped around 180 degrees so it looks like we've got 6 brick models. So let's get started. So here's our cube, and I'm going to create a mesh network from that, and then I'm going to turn this into a grid. We'll make the grid go up. In fact, I'll make it so there's only in a couple of axes. So there you go. So that's what we've got. And then the trick is just adding an offset node, and then we want an offset rotation of 360. Actually, 270 would do, but actually, let's do 270. And because 0 and 360 are the same, so what we'll do is we're going to use the strength map to rotate some of these objects back to 0. So let's add a ramp. If you want just 0 or 180, if you only have 2 options, then you can use just a noise shader or a volume noise or whatever. But if you want more than just 2 options, so you want kind of like actual steps, so 90, 180, 270 kind of thing, you have to use a ramp. So let's create this as a projection just so that we can visually move it around afterwards. And then what we'll do is we'll go to the up connections, and then we'll go through to the ramp here, and you can see that we're obviously controlling the rotation with the ramp, right? So we just want to make this stepped rather than linear. So to do that, we just need to change the interpolation type to 0. And then we need to add a couple more points. So we want we want a color for 90, 180, and 270. And I'm just going to do this by eye because I can't be bothered to work out how much we need to do it by. So green is like 90, so we'll leave it like that. And then we've got 180, which is that, something like that. And then white is 270, so there we go. And then I'm just going to add a load of noise to make this random. So we can kind of increase the noise frequency to make this look more random, and then we can move this around if we're not happy with the result that we've got. So that's basically it. It's pretty simple, and like I say, if you want to use a 3D volume noise for a random rotation, then you can as well. It's just you can't use it when you've got lots of options. So yeah, it does the trick for that situation. And so let's hide the repro, and then I'll show you the bricks, and I'm just going to hide that post texture. So here are our bricks. Let's grab them, and we will create a mesh network. And you'll notice that the number of points here, if I slide this number of points up, then what we're doing is we're filling the distance with points, okay? So that's not what I want in this situation. Because I want to control this with a null afterwards, I can't do it like this. I need to add distance with each point. And the node that does that in Mesh is the replicator. So let's do that. We'll go to the replicator. We'll set a distance of 3. That's the width of the brick in the x-axis, and then you notice as I increase the number of replicants, we get more points, which is cool. So then I need to add another one of these that goes up. So let's add another replicator that goes up in the y-axis, not back in z, and then there we go. So there's our wall. I'm just going to go down to the pattern offset roll down, and then offset these in x by half the brick's width, which is 1.5. So there you go. And then on the mesh network, what I need to do is add an ID node with a random ID so that we get our 3 different bricks being used. Okay. So here's 3 different bricks. Now we want 6 different bricks. So let's flip some of these around 180 degrees. Same trick really. 180. I'm going to actually, so that we can see what we're doing, I'm going to change this to 90. And then I'm going to add our noise shader, which is going to be as a projection. I'm just going to do it as a projection just because it makes it easier to adjust it later, move it around if you're not happy with the result, basically. So you can see that we have varying different strengths, which gives us different rotations between 0 and 90. We want one or the other, which means that we have to increase the contrast of this map so that it only gives us white or black and doesn't give us any greys in between. And the way that we do that is by changing the ratio to 0 and then the amplitude to something daft like 30, really, really high. And then what we do is we just turn down the density so that some of these bricks flip back to their original direction. You end up with some of them only go as halfway or whatever, and that's because the threshold could be pushed up even further. But if you can't be bothered to do that, you can just move the texture around until you get a pattern that you're happy with. So all the bricks that are facing us have 0 rotation, and the ones that are side on, they are the ones that are going to have 180. So let's go back to the offset node and change this to 180. And we're done. So I can just turn this off and then turn it on. You can see that some of the bricks changed. Cool. Right, so actually let's add a color node just to give us some random color, like brick color or whatever. Just add a bit of random value there or something like that, just to... There you go. Okay, so let's now add a transform locator, a transform node, and I'm going to add a locator for that. So you go right-click controller, create. That gives us a null, and that's going to be the position of the wall. And then I'm going to create a locator, just a normal one, and then this is going to be called wall width. And I'm going to parent that under the transform locator. Okay, so I'm going to move wall width over like here, and then this is going to be used to control the width of the wall. I'm going to do that by linking the number of replicants. Is it this one? I'm going to link the number of replicants. It is this one to the width to the position in X of this locator. So on replicants, I'm just going to go create new expression. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to say equals wall width dot translate X. Now if I just hit create on this, that's going to create lots and lots of bricks for us, because the it's creating one brick for every position this wall has in its x-axis, which is not right, because the wall bricks are 3 units wide each, so whatever this number is needs dividing by 3. So let's go back onto the replicator, and I'll just go edit expression, and I'll just times this by 0.33 like that, and then hit edit again, and then we've got something which is closer to what we want. So we can just move that. There you go. So yeah, that's well, it can be improved on, but that's basically the way that you can have a locator control the width of the wall. And yeah, we could do, if you wanted to 0, you could start like have the result multiplied by well, just minus 1 off the result. But yeah, anyway, this will do. So that's kind of how you can set up a quick controller, and that's your bonus. So I hope you find this helpful. Very quickly, just going over random step rotations, random 0, 180 rotations, and then a little controller at the end. So I hope you found it useful, and I'll see you next time.